I'm given to understand that the world is going to end next week, and it's that pesky planet Nibiru that's going to do it yet again. Let's take a look to see what's going to happen to us. Apparently, the 23rd of September is our last day. And this is the result of the conjunction of 3 earth-shattering events. I suppose literally earth-shattering. The US total solar eclipse, the autumnal equinox, and that a bloody great planet is going to hit the Earth. Now of these 3, and I'm just guessing here, it's the 3rd one I think is going to have the most impact, but we'll see. So let's deal with these 3 problems in turn. First we'll talk about the US solar eclipse. That occurred on the 21st of August 2017, so over a month ago. I'm not sure what impact a month-old eclipse is going to have on the Earth. I imagine it's quite small. Especially as we get lots of eclipses per year, and up to 3 of those eclipses can be solar eclipses. And why is the track of the eclipse important? Yes, this is the first one for nearly a century to cross the United States, but there are hundreds of tracks all over the world, so what difference does this make? Then of course there's the autumnal equinox. Now that seems to happen every year without too many dire consequences. Now of course the Druids do celebrate it, so it's all tied up in the magic and Merlin and things of that sort, but again we haven't really had very many earth-shattering events as a result of the autumnal equinox. Now the date of the equinox is the 22nd of September at 10 o'clock PM in the UK. So for most of the world the equinox is going to be on the 22nd, with the exception of Australia and New Zealand. They'll be on the 23rd, so of course they're going to be toast. Perhaps we're looking at this the wrong way. Perhaps this is a numbers thing, a numerology. So let's take a look at the date. 2202 on the 22nd of September 2017. Well, let's break that down a bit. If you take the time, there's 3 2s, which is a 6. If you take the date, there's 3 more 2s, which is another 6. And the last 2 digits of the year are 1 and 7. 7 minus 1 is also 6. So we have 666. That's the number of the beast, the devil, the apocalypse. So that really all hangs together quite well, except for they say it's on the 23rd, not the 22nd, so it would come up 667. Not quite sure what that means. So let's take that date, the 23/9/2017. So 23 plus 9 plus 2 plus 0 plus 1 plus 7 is 42, which is the answer to life, the universe, and everything. And the motto of that is don't panic. But we're saying we should panic because it's the end of the world. And remember, the story of the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy starts with the end of the world when the Vogons destroy it. Now let's deal with the big one, Nibiru, this huge planet that's supposed to be careening into the center of the solar system and is going to take out the Earth as part of that process. The problem with Nibiru is it's perpetually late. It was first predicted to hit the Earth on the 27th of May 2003. And if you look at the numerology of that, that's 37, which doesn't really make much sense at all. We've had such scares at least twice a year since then. 2 of the most prominent ones was the end of the Mayan calendar, do you all remember that? And then the comet Elenin, when it came through the solar system, was supposedly this tiny little comet was supposedly dragging this huge planet along behind it. Elenin went by, no planet came. Now I do give the predictions of the Nibiru folks some credit. They are batting exactly 100% at being wrong. You would have thought that detecting a great big planet would not be hard. We have all these observatories dotted around on tops of mountains all around the world, and they're not seeing anything. Or at least they're not telling us they see anything. We have all those spacecraft in orbit. Many of them are scanning the heavens for various objects like pulsars and quasars and the beginning of the universe and life and planets and things of that sort. You again would imagine that they would have picked up a large area of the sky that was blanked out by a planet approaching. And then we have all the amateur astronomers that are perpetually looking for comets and nova and things of that sort. Again, you'd think at least one of those would have picked up the presence of a large planet. But none of all of these people are telling us that they found such a planet. I'm going to go out on a bit of a limb here. In summary, we have an unremarkable eclipse about a month ago, an astronomical event that occurs on the wrong day that happens every year without any mishaps having been recorded to date, and a non-existent planet crashing into us which should have zero effect at all. So all in all, I don't think we have a great deal to worry about. For those that still believe that Nibiru is going to hit us in a week's time, I have a very special offer. Jesus is quoted as saying, "It is easier for a camel to pass through the eye of a needle than for a rich man to get into heaven." So for those that truly believe that the world will end next week, they should send me all of their assets, all of their money, all of their wealth, all of their property, and I will invest it wisely in a post-apocalyptic recovery fund. Then they are free when the end of the world comes to get into heaven. Now, I have offered this to just about everybody that has ever espoused this view that Nibiru is going to crash into us, even those that have quoted Revelation saying it's perfectly consistent with what Revelation's saying. So they're basically saying the Bible is dead right on this, but then they sort of say that the Bible is dead wrong on this other thing, which is sort of a bit weird to my way of thinking. For those of you with a more tongue-in-cheek view of Nibiru, please see my epic poem called An Ode to Nibiru. I made this into a video a few years ago, and you can see the link to it at the bottom of the page. Be careful, there's two versions. The old version, the original version, was corrupted, and so look for the repost version. So until next time, assuming there is one, stay safe.